Meta Madness continues, everyone. We are still in the round robin phase, and we got the Nameless Kings facing off against DMW now. No draft today. I'll talk about this in a second, but let's introduce the teams first. Over on the left side, we got the Nameless Kings as we're heading into Towers of Doom. We got Lopaka on Murden, Morenas on Liming, Ultralisk on Tracer, Misu is playing Malfurion, and Ubi on Zeratul. Over on the right side of the map, DMW with the Evil on Urel. We got Danger Noodle, sorry. The Danger Noodle, Dagger Noodle, Danger Noodle, same thing at the end of the day. On white main, Mo and Thrall, the Dark Wolf on ETC, and Theoden is playing Falstad. So as I already explained in the last match, the reason why we don't have a draft for this series and also the upcoming one is that on the Saturday where those games were played out, I had an accident with a bike and I unfortunately fell, and I fell into a corner of a house. It sounds a little bit silly, I know, but at the end of the day, my body, the side of my body with my rib cage just hit a corner on a house, and believe me, the pain was pretty insane, and there was suspicion of me having broken some ribs, so I had to go to the hospital, get an x-ray, and right now I have my entire side swollen like crazy. Laughing hurts, coughing hurts, sneezing hurts, bathroom breaks are a lot longer than they usually should be. Anything that applies any pressure to my midsection is instantly rewarded with pain and tears. So couldn't make it to Cast Alive games. That's why the games here are cast from replays. So just as a bit of a side note, why we don't have a draft for any of these. But once again, Meta Madness operates under two rules. Heroes can only be played once within the series, and for the tournament right now, we have 16 heroes pre-banned. We are in the round robin phase, which is essentially the early phase of the tournament. During this phase, the number of bans can still increase. Once that we're reaching the playoffs after the round robin, that's when the bans will be locked in. So currently for this weekend's games, we have now in total 16 pre-bans, which is pretty awesome already and is leading instantly to some fun drafts that we're getting here. And the Nameless Kings are already trying to exploit that by pushing hard for DMW as they're coming in to try and take some of those pumpkins away. They can't get the kill, but they get the pumpkins at least. Now, with Meta Madness, we also have in total 2,000 euros of prize money on the line. Once again, this is all posted up by me, thanks to the people supporting the stream on patreon.com/Khaldor. Big shout out to all of the people doing that. As I've said multiple times in the past, it's one of the few things that really helps to keep the Heroes esports scene alive, which Blizzard has essentially abandoned for the last 6-7 years, and we've been continuously hosting tournaments here. If you want to become a supporter as well, check it out. There's a link in the description if you watch this on YouTube right now, and you can always go directly to patreon.com/Khaldor. Again, thanks to all the supporters there. Wouldn't be possible without you guys. So yeah, you rock. Thanks. But in the games here, we now got 3 kills to 0 as the Nameless Kings are actually opening this one up with a bit of a bang. So top side is Zeratul still locked into a bit of a 1v1 that he is every now and then abandoning to help out in a team fight against the Evil. We have the first altar phase now up, and Thrall coming in on level 4 with the Frostwolf pack. The team has of course fallen a bit behind in experience already, thanks to the kills that we got for the blue team. Still trying for a bit of a trap against Theoden right now, as we have Zeratul also going into his Might of the Nerazim build. We had a Void Prison build actually just the other day, but currently that's Ultralisk! Yeah, he's the first one to fall over on the blue team side. So DMW with a kill, and it seems like they might... Nah, they're not quite getting this one. Or are they? Now, with Liming now coming through and also Murden, they will have to give this one up. So this is the last altar to fight over. DMW has taken one, but they will have to abandon this here. Nameless Kings are going to get it eventually. They had a bit of a window where I suppose it would have been possible for them to claim it, but after the blue team just moved in with the rest of their forces, it just wasn't going to happen any longer. So by now we have level 7 about to kick in for the Kings. Obviously this is also a game where they have a lot of preference picks for themselves, even under the rule set of Meta Madness. We have, for example, Zeratul played by Ubi, which is always brutal. I mean, Ubi's Zeratul is just a delight. The guy is an absolute monster on that hero, and I do not envy DMW their position here. He's going to he's definitely going to make it very difficult for them to keep their heroes alive throughout these team fights. More so when he has his level 10 ability. But at the bottom of the map, there's still a bit of action going on. We have also with Morenas on Liming in this game already one of the mages that has mostly disappeared outside of Battlefield of Eternity on the top level. But the attacks, they keep on happening here as both Morenas and Lopaka are able to escape. Muradin is just going for a little bit of a detour to buy himself some time. Looking for a connect. They're trying for ETC and he's gone. ETC eliminated and level 8 on the board now for the Kings as Urel is attempting to help out here. Jumps in. They're starting to go for Malfurion though and he's dead too. So is Urel, to be fair. So Urel also dropped. They're trading kills essentially. The problem is that Falstad is not going to be able to escape either. So Falstad gets murdered. That's now 6 kills to 2. Obviously the Kings are coming in as the big favorite for this one. DMW, they had to go for some pretty brutal fights. They are currently one of the teams that is still making sure that they make it into the playoffs at all out of this round robin phase. And they've been fighting some really important matches against Team Cat Red, for example, where they really excelled. So they are now finding themselves in a very solid spot to make it into the playoffs as they're hoping. But every single point that they can gather here is going to help them to potentially climb a bit more in the standings and get an easier time in the playoff bracket. Higher seeds get their advantages there. Now that we have level 10 ready, the blue team is going to demolish them hard though, I believe. Because this is where things are starting to get tricky. Lopaka is getting attacked, but 10 is still not available. And of course those heroic abilities are eventually going to make the difference in the fight. Resets for Li Ming as Thrall and Muradin, Falstad get killed. Urel and ETC follow. Zeratul went a little bit too deep, trying to get more, but all those resets, they really helped Morenas out. Essentially, his biggest problem in that fight, at least towards the end, was his lack of mana. Now that they're getting both of these altars, that means 10 shots fired against DMW, since they lost the bottom bell tower previously. So, really nice start now for the Kings. I mean, they've been massively aggressive with this, and things have been working out. The idea is now to defend the bell tower at the bot lane as best as they can to hold on to that. We're looking at a channel over on the top left from Ultralisk, and he's getting another 5 shots fired, as already suspected earlier. Eventually, this bell tower is going to be lost to the Kings, but it's already a huge win what they were able to accomplish here. We're only 7 minutes into the game, and the opponent is down to 22 points with a kill difference of 7 kills between the two. So, Thrall gets murdered, loses his quest stacks and progress again. Whitemane is trying to do whatever she can here. The Danger Noodle is noodling around whenever there's danger, and that just means there's a lot of noodling currently in this game. But they have finally level 10 abilities. So up to now, they were just forced into a very passive position, not really able to do a whole lot on the map, outside of trying to reclaim the bell tower at the bot lane. But now we have heroic abilities, which gives us, for example, Sundering. We have now also the Ardent Defender in for Urel. Muradin jumping in again, trying to get the hit here for ETC. Malfurion was ready with the root, but they couldn't connect enough damage to drop ETC. Lopaka, on the other hand, is a bit low. Sundering from Thrall as he's trying to flank in. Instant ult from Malfurion. And everybody down here is still totally fine. Muradin, no problems for him either, as we saw Zeratul and Tracer still busy in the middle of the map. But the whole game for the Kings is currently the attempt to hold on to the bell tower for now. Just force DMW to react a bit more to this. Given how low it is, it will be claimed, and they're now going in force to take the structure just before the 2 altars will spawn. And then, of course, it's a question of which team can get what here. With level 13 being this close for the Kings, this is still tricky. And Falstad with a gust against Muradin. Yeah, they had a chance here. Lopaka trying to buy himself a little bit of time. Needs to get the cooldown back, but he's gonna fall. Great timing for a kill. The problem is that the evil nearly disappeared too, but he made it. Oh, but the Dark Wolf didn't. So ETC falls. Both of the tanks are gone. and the bottom part of the map, the bot lane, is now fully opened up, which is where the two altars are, of course, positioned. So if they can sneak anybody in here to start the channel, that would be the dream for now. Falstad gets murdered. The tag team between Zeratul and Li Ming is working exceptionally well. First altar already taken. That means 4 more shots fired against the core, now down to 18. And Malfurion is on his way to the bottom of the map to lock another one in as we speak. They are apparently trying to get that bell tower first, though. They got the pumpkins through. They are now showing up with Zeratul here, and they will be able to claim it. So instead of only 4 shots fired, they're going to be able to take down 5 points of the red team's core. So DMW is falling even farther behind and have to now attempt to reclaim their bell tower at the bottom of the map as well. 20,000 damage for Falstad, 45,000 for Li Ming. The resets make it possible, and they're looking for a few more. Morena sitting at the side, gas to be used, and Zeratul comes in to finish the job of Li Ming. The resets galore as they go for ETC and drop him as well. 15 kills to 4, and a 2-level advantage now for the Nameless Kings. And more pressure this time through the mid lane. They already claimed the bell tower at the bottom of the map, and now they're hoping to take the one in the middle, or at least drop it mega low. And that's exactly what they're doing. Li Ming is the only one in the entire game, by the way, that hasn't fallen yet. So, yeah, Li Ming still alive, as we have Tracer moving through the top lane right now, trying to hold the experience there, which actually is also contributing to the amount of XP advantage that they have here. They are ahead in hero experience, minion experience, passive structure appearance. All of that is going to eventually tick over to them. So, yeah, not too bad. Right, but for now, we're having at the top lane a bit of a trap setup, I'd say. Tracer's moving out. They could go for the bell tower in the middle too, at least Li Ming could, but she wants to set up those pumpkins at the bottom of the map, and that's 3 more shots fired. They're looking for the team fight at the top instead, but those shots will connect, and that puts the core down to 10 points in total. So this is a bit of a problem, because Thrall dies. It's 16 versus 13 now. The talent advantages are just kicking in for them, not even talking about the stats advantages alone that they're getting, thanks to that big lead in experience. And this might actually be game. If they take the bell tower in the middle and then go for altar plus boss, then it's game. So they have a chance here. Li Ming shouldn't even go for the bot lane just yet. Falstad dies, and that channel is a bit of a mistake. If they get pumpkins in, sure, but this is something they could easily take, and then it would have been the end of the game already, but I'm not sure that they realize that. They have a mad advantage, of course. Might even be able to start the barrage here, but there was a shot to actually end this game right here, right now. They go for the boss as they should, and if they were just a little bit more patient around that bell tower in the middle, they could have ended it immediately. So Li Ming trying to safeguard this a bit longer. Came in with damage. We have 19 kills to 4 now. And at the top, Tracer is going to try and start the barrage up, and 1 shot is all that they need to win the first game here. Urel is trying to retake at the bottom of the map. Zeratul is now going for the channel on the boss. This one has been claimed too, and that's game! First shot gets fired, and that is the end of map number 1 between the Nameless Kings and DMW, as Towers of Doom ends in favor of the blue team. GG and well played. We're going to head straight into game number 2, but before we do, once again guys, if you enjoy the coverage on the channel here, if you enjoy the match, please like and subscribe. Subscribe to the channel, like the video. It also helps to boost the game to an even wider audience. And of course, it helps to get people back into Heroes of the Storm, as the algorithm recommends the videos to people that were interested in Heroes of the Storm in the past. So again, before I continue, if you haven't done it yet, subscribe to the channel and like the video. Appreciate it. And with that, we're heading straight into the second map of the series. Map number 2, Battlefield of Eternity. The Kings in the lead after the victory on map number 1. We are going into Battlefield, and now we have Ultralisk on Maiev. We got Lopaka on Tyrael. Cassia gets played by Morena. Smisu is playing Uther, and Ubi on Artanis this time. So Artanis is in the house as DMW over on the right side with the Evil on Greymane, the Dark Wolf on Chen. Chen as the main tank over here, going a bit of the good old Korea style, copying Capybara here, with Mo on Zul, the Danger Noodle on Stukov, and Theoden on Zagara. Now keep in mind, the draft in this game of format number 2 was actually restricted because the 10 heroes that were played in game number 1 were not allowed to be picked again, including the 16 heroes that were permabanned for this weekend. This means that 26 heroes were already out even before the teams entered the draft. Once again, apologies that we don't have a draft for this series, but as I said, I spent the day when those were played at the hospital, and we'll have the draft soon back to business. But for now, we got... Ooh, how did that happen? Zagara already dead at the top. Damn, the little trap that they set up here apparently working. And Zagara fell for it, so that's first blood already. We got a lot of stacking going on, by the way, with the Kings now heading into Thunderstroke with Cassia and also having Protector of Aya on Artanis. Down at the bottom of the map, the red team took advantage of the fact that the Kings went topside to take Zagara down and used their numbers to take the camp pretty quickly. And then in the meantime, we're having a play for Ulta, who makes out of the fight. Chen dies at the top, and the evil dies. Greymane is gone. There's a lot of shenanigans happening there. Zagara also getting attacked at the top once again as they're looking for a couple of swaps, but down here it's Zul that falls. That's 4 kills to 0. Bit of a chaotic start into the game, but damn, the blue team is starting to spice things up here. The Kings with 4 kills already, and specifically Ubi with a lot of stacks, given that we're only 1.5 minutes into the game. So Artanis is doing very well, and now that the team is going up against the wall here, they are starting to take towers out. And maybe even more importantly, we're having a quick attack happening against Chen, who is actually a very nice counter in this case, well, a counterpart in this case for Artanis, because it allows Artanis to get very easy stacks on his level 1 quest. So it's pretty neat for him. Easy stacking opportunities that should help to boost the damage as the game continues. It's kind of noteworthy that he went into his Protector of Aya on level 1. They killed Zagara again, because let's not forget that they are actually in a situation where amateur opponent would have really helped with the immortal damage. But given how far he is already gone on that quest and how much value they get at the top lane, they're doing great here. That combo of Ultralisk and Greymane is brutal, and now we have another double kill at the bottom of the map. It's getting insane. I mean, what the hell is happening here? They're going for a speed run at this point. They're going through DMW like hot butter through cheese, as we have 9 kills to 0, 2.5 minutes in. Apparently they're just speedrunning map number 2 with level 6 on the board already. So absolutely brutal what the Kings are currently pulling off here. That's insane. Artanis sitting at 83 stacks after not even 3 minutes is just crazy. We have 10,000 damage on the side of Cassia, 8,000 for Greymane. And then obviously you have Artanis now with a lot of potential for... I mean, I was about to say the late game, but if this game continues the way that it's currently running, then we're never going to get to a late game in the first place. So that's the flip side of all of this. Already back to business with the Dark Wolf being attacked. Lots of hits coming in. Swap attempts coming through too as the Evil is getting targeted. Greymane finds himself in trouble. Chen is already dead, and Greymane is gone too. 11 kills to 0. Zagara just said, screw that. I'm not going into the middle. I'm not going to fight this. I'm going to use my PhD in PvE to take some towers down. Thank you very much. I'm going to go for some minions because they don't fight back that hard. But then they rotate over and take her down too. That's Zagara gone. And down at the bottom of the map, Zul gets killed as well. I can honestly not jump from one end to the map to the next quickly enough to catch all of these. This is just bonkers. We have 130 stacks currently for Artanis, so he is just brutalizing them together with the damage that we're getting from Cassia, who's sitting at 20 stacks right now. And of course, with all of the pressure against the Immortal, they're very likely going to walk away with the first objective. With 13 kills to 0, we have them now at a 1 level lead, and Greymane gets attacked again, and he's not looking too good. Greymane in trouble and dies once more. Apparently the red team has decided that they're going to go for a different map objective currently. They are trying to figure out who can die 10 times first. It's all about the double digits, boys. And Greymane is currently in the lead. He's sitting at 4 deaths, so he is currently leading. But it might be that Zagara is about to catch up here. She makes it out. So instead they're focusing on Zul again, and he dies for the 4th time too. The biggest obstacle to getting to the double-digit death timer or double-digit death count is currently just the death timers and the time that you take to walk back towards the fight itself, where you can then YOLO into the opponent. The Evil, with 16 kills to 0, is currently just going for the next camp, and yep, it is going to be a full-fledged 100% shield immortal for the Kings. I mean, I'm going to be brutally honest with you. I think this was not intentionally meant to be a bit of a meme game for DMW, but if you start the game and then all of a sudden, after 1 minute, you're already 4, 5, 6 kills behind, and then you're just getting farmed, I think at that point, you're just going for a couple of Hail Marys, and the game falls apart for you. This seems to be very much what's happening here. That they came in intending to just rock the show here, believed in their draft, and were very quickly outpaced at the beginning of the game, and are now realizing that this is likely not going to end well for them. Ultralisk at the top is going up against the Dark Wolf and actually baiting because they're sacrificing Chen. They just want the kill here. That's all they want at the end of the day, and Ultralisk will fall. There's no way he's going to escape this. They are going to make sure that he dies, and that's the kill right there. Round of congratulations are in order. Nicely done. A well-deserved kill. And Ultralisk, he's obviously now being reported for feeding because that was disgraceful what he did out there at the top. 17 kills, and now the 0 has fallen. They can't go for the perfect game anymore. So, yeah, that's just it. I mean, either way, at this point, it seems like they're at least trying to get a fort, but the level 10 abilities are already, and we all know what that means. The blue team will play even more aggressive, if that's even possible. But the fort has fallen. So, I mean, kudos. Chen goes down too. Apparently killed himself, but we all know he didn't. Neither did Jeffrey Epstein. 19 kills, 20 kills, 2-1. And it's a bloodbath. It's an absolute bloodbath. The keep at the bottom of the map is obviously going to get destroyed here as well. We're 6.5 minutes into the game right now. 220 stacks for Artanis. Everybody is just brawling around here. The red team was at least able to get themselves a kill and also destroy one fort. But now with the first objective, the bot lane has been completely annihilated. Everything has fallen down here. Zul now dies up at the top, and we're seeing the push from the blue team slowly focusing on the last remaining fort. 6 deaths on Chen, 5 on Greymane and on Zul respectively. And with level 10 abilities still not available for DMW, we have the blue team playing hyper-aggressive. Artanis is just getting stack after stack after stack. In a potential late game, he would have probably outpaced Cassia eventually, but currently she is still the top damage dealer for the blue team. Then again, Artanis is already at 270, 280 stacks. They're coming in, kill everything, and Artanis just goes a little bit too deep and dies eventually. That's 24 kills to 2. I mean, it's a pretty killer game. We have 26 kills at the 7-minute mark. That is, I mean, respect. We also get Storm, Earth, and Fire, so the Panda buddies are gonna say hello here today. Zul says goodbye on the other hand. And yeah, this is sooner rather than later gonna be another victory, I would assume, for the Kings. At this point, I'm just curious how many deaths we're gonna get. 26 kills? I mean, that is pretty amazing. That's actually nuts. That's absolutely crazy. 8 minutes in, and we have 28 kills. That's bonkers. That's absolutely bonkers. Artanis is sitting at the top lane right now. Cassia has 33 stacks to her name. We have Catapult starting to go for the core and then griefing a little bit as they start to attack the tower in the middle instead. Typical Catapult behavior here. Honestly, if there's a Catapult driving license, then this guy should lose it, because that was just a disaster. I mean, dude, you got one job. The lane is open. Take advantage of it. Chen goes down. They're focusing on Ultralisk again. Zagara gets targeted. Ultralisk is ultra low, but survives. Stukov is dead as well. And that is the end of Greymane. They're farming Zul. A full 5-man team wipe. Yeah, now of course the death timer is still a little bit low, which means that the blue team is just going through the top fort with ease. We now have 31 kills to 2. And yeah, they might go for the objective, they might not. I mean, with a 3-level advantage and this much momentum, they're going to be hard to stop. Artanis at 350 stacks. He's still trailing Cassia, though. He is still trailing Cassia. It's crazy. Like, this game is just an endless brawl. Honestly, if you would just hide the names, I would have said, like, this is some kind of new ARAM mode that Blizzard introduced and it's a PUBG game. But DMW, I guess, is taking this with a little bit of humor. You can really tell that they're just going for their own little mini objectives right now. They are throwing everybody at one target, trying to kill one hero. They knew that this was over, so they're just playing this one out right now. This game was lost a long time ago, and they're very well aware of it, so they're not really in a full try-hard mode anymore. They just realized, okay, we gotta sacrifice map number 2. This is not gonna be a thing. We won't be able to recover here, so they're just going for a bit of fun. With Zagara now rushing around up at the top. I have actually no idea where exactly Theoden wants to go. Maybe he just hates dying and wants to stop it. But it seems like Zagara's on a mission. So we're taking some towers out from the looks of it. Greymane wants to do the same thing, so it's the new backdoor strategy that they're going for. But the blue team is actually sending a few heroes over in order to deal with it. And Zul, look at this. Stukum is following now as well. It's the James Bond mission right there. And they're trying to just go for a keep, as it seems. 4 levels behind, and they are going for keep mission. And they actually might get this one. If they're hearthing. They forced them to hearth back to base. They're going for a different backdoor strategy. If there was no hearth, that keep would have fallen, but as it stands, they will be able to save it. But I love that DMW takes this with a grain of salt here. They've already accepted their fate a long time ago, of course. By now, Artanis has taken over the top damage in the game. And we have 40 kills in total. So, yeah, kudos to DMW being good sports here in game number 2. But the blue team obviously going for an absolute ruthless victory on the second map. They already have the lead in this series. And then it will essentially come down to the third map where we'll figure out if DMW can recover from this, can go for a draft that suits them maybe a bit better, and then, you know, put a point onto the scoreboard for themselves. Greymane goes down, the core will be destroyed too, and that's victory number 2 for the Nameless Kings in the series here in the Meta Madness round robin. GG. Coming up next, we have the third map of the series. If you guys enjoy the content, also consider to head over to patreon.com/Khaldor, support our efforts to keep the Heroes of the Storm esports scene alive there. It's the best way to support the channel. Huge shout out to everybody that is already a supporter. You guys are really helping to keep this alive, and you help us to host event after event for the game here. Especially after Blizzard abandoning this already 7 years ago. It's absolutely fantastic that we're still able to do this here. So big shout out to all of the supporters. And again, if you enjoy the coverage, if you would like to support us, head over there and check it out. Thanks a lot. Enjoy the next game. Okay, game number 2, they absolutely rolled them. And then game number 3, they went for, what crazy pick can we go for? And the answer was apparently yes. On the left, the Kings with Ubi on Illidan, Ultralisk on Orphea. We got Morenas on the Butcher. Meat, fresh meat. Lopaka on Abatha and Miso on Lucio. I mean, at that point, they might meme a little bit too hard over here. I'm not quite sure, but time will tell. On the right side, is that a backdoor combo? The Evil on Reyna. We got Mo and Gul'dan. The Dark Wolf on Azmodan. Danger Noodle with Morales. And Nezebo played by Theoden. This is backdoor, right? I mean, they're just going to go full backdoor with this one. We might see a reign of RNG here. We might see Gul'dan go for Reign. I'm not even joking. Like, if you go for that particular lineup without even a proper main tank, they're definitely going full-on Meme Dream at this point, and this seems to me like a full-on backdoor combo that they're playing right now. That's gonna be wild. This is gonna be nuts. I mean, they embraced it wholeheartedly here. A full embrace of the craziness, and this is just bonkers. I expected something like this to happen late in the playoffs, maybe, when we're going to game number 5, but not in the round robin. So DMW, after the last map, was just like, okay, guys, how crazy can we get with this? And the answer was yes. So, yeah, if you really want to go for the backdoor, then obviously what you need to do is to just survive and try and stay on eye level with your opponent until you have level 10. The blue team is going to do everything that they can in order to take them on early, get a lead established through a few kills, and of course, one of their objectives will be to stack the Butcher. The Butcher currently with chopped meat on level 1. We have Azmodan trying to stack a little bit down here. It's still a team fight, and I'm a bit afraid that the blue team is getting too confident here. Nazeebo is already gone, so that's at least one kill. But, yeah, Lucio falls as well. The Butcher with 32 meat stacks. And this is going to get a bit wild. I don't think that there's too much that the Kings have to stop a proper backdoor. So, if DMW plays this safe enough initially and is able to launch those medivac attacks, there is a good chance that the blue team is not going to be able to stop this. They need to get heavily ahead here, or this is going to be a problem. In a lot of other games that we've seen before, what teams have started to do once they realize what's happening is they drafted a lot of stun, they draft blinds, they draft Falstad for Gust, but all of this is not available here to them. So instead they need to now get ahead very, very quickly and then snowball the opponent before they themselves will become the target. And with them taking down someone like Asmodan, that's already a good step into the right direction. So this is going to get really interesting later on. The blue team is super confident that they can actually pull this off, but I think they didn't really account for the backdoor strategy to be pulled off eventually. And yeah, that Morales pick probably caught them pretty unawares here. On level 4, we now get Blood Ritual for Nazeebo. Still, of course, a bit curious to see how exactly DMW plays this. But as I said before, there are definitely some potential ult differences that we're going to see once that they hit that. And Jimmy, he's currently sitting there with his level 1 Exterminator, so he's going to be working some of the camps as well. Illidan is also stacking, he's currently on 6 stacks himself. And yeah, the first seeds are up. With Abyssa in the mix, you can always try and go for a team fight here, but let's not forget that the red team is essentially playing this without a tank. They don't really have a main tank here. They're all just going for damage and trying to out-DPS the opponent. And Illidan is down. A bit too confident this early in the game. So Illidan is eliminated. We got 2 kills to 2 now. With, yeah, it's kind of funny to me, by the way, that Morenas has actually some 6 skins for the Butcher. So you already know what's happening in the Storm League games, yeah? But for this game, I'm not sure if that was really the best choice. And I'm not talking about the skin here, I'm talking about the Butcher pick. That's really you making quite the statement. So he comes in on level 7 with the meat shield. We have Abyssa, of course, with Mule. So you really need to make sure that when you attack some structures, that you destroy them if you're DMW, or you're going to see Abyssa just utilize his level 7 talent to get them back to full HP again. 4 minutes into the game, level 7 talents are ready, and the party would start to happen around level 10, of course. But for now, there's no big difference between the teams. We have the red team roaming the map and really going deep into enemy territory in an attempt to try and stop them here. We could see interrupts also on a potential seed channel from Asmodam and others, so if they can interrupt it a little bit, they would. But the important part for DMW is really that they're not falling too far behind. But they have also not pushed for a fort yet, so that's something that needs to be addressed eventually, because it's not enough to just take a keep out. Look how far they're diving here. That's actually crazy. Mocus Morales is the strategy, clearly, and they're trying to take Morales down, but they went too deep. Asmodan is dishing out damage with the rest. They lose, well, they lose at least Morales, but the Butcher has also died and lost a few of his meat stacks. And while this is playing out, we have Jimmy all alone at the top lane with also a camp, so they can now try and take this wall out. They might start targeting the top keep if this is a successful push. But they're very, very much trying to be super aggressive with the composition that they're running right now. And for the red team, as I already said before, it's all about trying to stay on eye level with the opponent. 3 kills to 3, both teams on level 9. Start to get some stacks for Asmodan. But to be honest with you, given how they are playing this and what I expect them to try and pull off after level 10, it's not the most crucial things that they get the stacks here. It is a nice bonus and you want to control the waves, but look how desperate the blue team right now is to get more kills and really dive deep for it. And a reminder, this is not a best of 5 series, so it's not like they're 2-0 ahead and they can afford a loss here. Every single map matters. We're playing out 3 maps and that's it. So if you lose a map here, you lose a point and your opponent gains 1. Lucio is now dead too, but the Kings are YOLOing around a bit. They have an early level 10, so good for them. They also have 1 seed and could get the 2nd. But here comes the Medivac. Here is the Demonic Invasion, and as predicted, the Reign of RNG from Gul'dan. So they got everything that they need, and they can start backdooring at any point when they use Morales. But they drop the ult from Azmodan first onto the fort. They want to take this one out. You will see that Mule drop very, very soon. But Azmodan is now getting attacked, as is Morales. The attack from the Butcher in particular, as he comes in with his own ult. That didn't really do anything yet. Lopaka sitting in the back with Abathar. There's the kill on Jimmy. Nezebo is dead too. More damage coming in from the Hyperion. Is it enough to take this one out? And the fort is... it's still in play. The fort is still in play, and the mules will come. But Azmodan and Gul'dan could actually drop this one. Gul'dan never even used his ult. Gul'dan had an opportunity to use his ult and just hasn't. So now they can take this one out with just another Orb of Annihilation, or just with the minion wave here. And after the fort is gone, what we're going to see next is the attack towards the keep. Everybody is now slowly coming back. They have to, of course, wait for those ults. The fort is gone, and the keep will be next. So I don't think that the blue team is going to be able to stop this. If they get an objective here, this could be a bit different. But taking that fort out was really crucial. Azmodan is dead, so this is exactly what we need to see from the Kings if they want to win this. But they're losing the Butcher also a little bit too much. This is the second time that he has fallen, and he hasn't completed his baseline quest yet, so he's still losing meat stacks here. They need to complete that quickly. Later on, when those backdoor attempts play out, what they need is kill speed. They need to kill them extremely quickly to ensure that the keep doesn't fall, so that Abathar can mule it back up. It's going to be a bit of a race at that point in time. We have Gul'dan with 15,000 damage so far, 13,000 for Abathar. Important, of course, the fact that we now have the ults all back up. And yes, they can now start to backdoor. And they're already doing exactly that. So here's the fly. Illidan is down at the bottom of the map. They're going for the keep. And now we're going to see the reign of RNG. So all the ults are getting popped immediately. Abathar is trying to save this. Morales gets attacked. But as you can see, the keep doesn't stand a chance. The keep is gone. The team will now be wiped. They're trying to get some damage onto the core already, but even if they do, Abathar is just going to do his thing. So everybody is going to go down here. 5-man wipe. Couple of points lost on the core already, down to 93%, 92 even, but Abathar is going to take care of this. The problem is that the next attack will go to the core directly, and have fun stopping that, because once that all of the ults are back up, you see how this is going. The Butcher, at least, he got all the meat stacks that he could possibly want. So he's sitting at 220, he completed the quest. But they need to now really push hard with that particular objective. They got the 3rd seed, and now they have to race them. They have to absolutely race them here. It's the only chance that they have. Because those Medivac plays are going to happen again and again and again. They're all sitting in the middle right now, waiting for ults to come back before they start the attack once more. Big damage from Butcher and also Illidan. They take down Azmodan, they take down Gul'dan, and this is exactly the kind of momentum that the Kings need to build up in order to win this game. They have a huge amount of trouble at the bot lane now, but they've destroyed the fort in the middle, they're destroying the fort at the bottom of the map, and the blue team is now trying to go for a bit of a GG move in the middle already, as they're pushing through the wall and aiming for the keep here. Azmodan and Gul'dan will soon be back. We now have the level 13 talents kicking in, but of course the gap in experience is widening. That's the end of Jimmy. Reyna is down. Morales is down. That's exactly what the Kings need. Kill him one after another, but they lose the Butcher. One of them already down. The Butcher is gone. The keep still not eliminated. Illidan wants to go deep on this, but they have to dive in order to chase them down, and this might turn against them as the core is now starting to defend. We have the keeps contributing too, and Theoden is just walking away here. No problem for him so far. Lucio is zipping around. Even with Abathar's help, there's some trouble for them. And Azmodan gets the hit in, and then the keep finishes the job on Lucio. Lucio's gone, and Ubi gets lasered into the ground. They're all back. The back door right now. This is the moment. This is the opportunity. They got all of their abilities right here, right now, and they have to make this happen. There's the play. They try with the Medivac, and they get stopped. No, the fail. The big fail. I can't believe this. That was horrible. Right in front of them. What did I just witness? That was so telegraphed. What do you think he would do? What do you think that Ultralisk would do in that moment? No! Oh my god, they had the game on a platter. They had it on a platter right then and there. All they had to do was chase Orphea down and then fly over. But in vision of Ultralisk, they tried to enter the Medivac and just tee it up for Ultralisk to get the stun through and the damage. And then multiple die. The Abathar Kobe contributing. What a disaster. I mean, that was so bad. We're going to take another look at it. Oh my god, look at this. They were so hyped that they could end the game, and they just totally blanked on what would happen if he attacks the Medivac. They totally blanked on this. Now they're sitting down at the bottom of the map. They're going to try for another moment right here, I suppose. Push this out a little bit, and then make another play, but the blue team now has them in a chokehold. The blue team is just pinning them down in the base. That's the problem. They need to somehow break out, and they could very well end up in a race for core damage with the opponent's team, and that's not really where they want to be. Now, they have a lot of damage, don't get me wrong. They have the Reign of RNG, Hyperion, Demonic Invasion, but they need to get there first. So it's all about getting into position first and then trying to really rush the opponent's structures down. But you see them spread out on the map. The Kings are everywhere right now, and for good reason. They also have Abathar with his Toxic Nests in position so that they can have vision. Illidan is now on the bottom of the map trying to take the next keep out. And then they need to have a really cool head at this point. Just cooler heads have to prevail here. Fight for an opportunity to fly over with Morales and see if they can do this. But they're losing structures, they're losing ground. The best opportunity there has already passed. Now they have to create another one in order to make this somehow happen. But they have a chance here to at least win a map in the series. What a crazy game. I mean, no, seriously, what a crazy series in the first place. Absolute bonkers. Mule is out, Keep is gone. And boy, this is bad. The Kings, they're pressuring. Morales is gone. Morales is dead. This might be it. This should be it. The Butcher goes down, but so did Jimmy. And clearly the Kings trying to end the game here. Asmodan is gone. They go for Nazeebo, and they're likely going to take him out as well. The Reign of RNG from Gul'dan has to really, really hit in order for them to defend here. But the core is falling. It's falling quickly. And I can't... Why is Gul'dan not using his ult? Use your ult, dude. What are you waiting for? An invitation? Like, what's happening? And the core goes down. That is game. Ult is way too late. And that's a 3-0 for the Kings. GG.